going on, y'all? It's J Smo Reviews here, back at it again with another video. As I said in my last few videos, man, nothing has changed. This is a silent January. It is complete empty field out here outside of UW's card, which I hope is almost fully announced now. I just saw that Geechee vs. Enos came out yesterday, and I know that event's a little bit back. Obviously, I'm waiting for that full card for predictions, and we'll get predictions. I will break it down. I'm just waiting for the full card to come out. But until then, always down to throw out some creative content. Last episode, we did Book 'em. This one, we're doing Book 'em again because there's another battler that's making a ton of noise out there right now, and that is Murda Mook. We obviously know all the arguments Mook's having on the internet. Mook arguing on the internet, nothing new to see there for the most part. But, you know, there's definitely a key matchup, you know what I'm saying, that we'll talk about here. Anyone that has seen the Book 'em series knows that I picked my 5 next best matchups, with the number 1 matchup being the battle I think they should take next. So I just thought, why not? You know what I'm saying? While Mook's out here talking crazy, what are 5 matches? If there's really 5, this one I had to think about a little bit more because I don't think it's as stand out as other battlers. There's some here that are a little bit of curveballs, have been talked a lot about, but probably not happening in the soon future. And before we get into it, you know what I'm saying? Usually I have honorable mentions before I get into the 5, but for this one, I'm gonna do it a little bit different. And like I said, for this new section, usually it's honorable mentions, but today we're doing it different. We're doing It's Not Happening. This is the It's Not Happening section because particularly with Murda Mook, there is a few matchups that are either bad matchups nobody wants, that they get a little bit of noise just because he argued with someone, or they're grudge matches that just aren't happening, and we need to accept that and move on. And I just got a few here I want to go through, and the first one on the It's Not Happening list is Murda Mook versus Arsenal. Now this is one where there's a grudge here, bit of a grudge here, right? When it comes to just big names, Arsenal battles almost everyone. We're talking about a man with a Cassidy battle. He's battled Loaded Lux. He's battled Hollow Denon twice. He's battled any other top tier that you can think of for the most part. So why not battle Murda Mook? Why not finish that full resume? See, here's the problem with this battle. It's just not very good. I just don't think the matchup here makes sense. It is a battle that's spurred out of Arsenal really just calling Mook out, and to the point he's just disrespected the hell out of Mook, talking about his dead mother, you know what I'm saying? And I know that Arsenal's thing in battle rap, anything's on the table, and it is. Anything, you can say whatever you want, but then Mook can say, I really don't want to fucking battle you. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, style-wise, Mook has an angling prowess, you know what I'm saying? I think he's getting a little bit better in that punch department too. Just updating that pen and getting out of the outdated bars. I really love the progress he showed, especially going into his twerk battle. But when I look at this, when I look at Arsenal, he's been okay lately. I know there's people saying Arsenal's been cooking in this. Listen, the Magic battle was good, but then what? Then the 1 round in a 3v3, like where are these other 3-round battles where Arsenal is just cooking recently? Because I see a lot of the franchise battles still, you know what I'm saying? I see a lot of this shot giving and not full seriousness. I see him going and choking 3 times on stage versus Miss Hustle. So I don't know if there's like this big renaissance going on, but if it's on a big stage, this battle could be cataclysmic, you know what I'm saying? It could be treacherous. I think that there's a weird airball effect that both of them can have up there, losing the crowd, getting overly disrespectful into the grudge, and kind of leaving content behind at points. I just think it could bring the worst out of Mook. I think Arsenal could have a weird approach to it. Small room theoretically would be the best for it, but it's just not a battle I'm bought into, and I think it's a battle that nobody else really has the heat for or asking for, which is why it goes on the It's Not Happening list. Second battle that is definitely not happening, and this one I want you to hear because I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, I want you to feel it in your soul. Briz versus Mook is not happening. Let it go. It's okay to move on from things in life, and this is one of those battles that we got to do that with. We're going on 5 years since the altercation. 5 years. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit longer than a college degree. And it's just not going down. I don't think Briz is coming back to battle rap in general. And I'm not going to say let's not waste Mook's time with it because, he gives his own words and whatnot. We've seen what's been going on ever since Cal and Briz had that little argument. Mook immediately has like an interview or 2 out on Briz all over again. Would have been great, one of the best unbooked grudge matches in battle rap history, but that's what it's going to be because I don't think Briz is going to get booked to battle again, let alone turn around and battle this man after it's fallen through like 3 times, after everything that's gone on. It's just one of those battles that its time has came and went, and it's just simply not happening. And then the last one on this list, a new addition to the It's Not Happening list is Mook versus Serious Jones, the rematch. When we see arguments in battle rap, I love how no matter what the argument is about, serious, not serious, we just ask about a battle. We're just like, can we get a battle? Is it going to turn into a battle? Because otherwise, a lot of this calling each other out of their names is really not. That's how it escalates into real life shit, because we're not going towards raps. This is just us talking bad about each other to talk bad about each other. We saw with Mook and Sirius, Mook throwing SMDs at Sirius, right? Sirius talking about his mother, once again, similar to the way Arsenal did, right? Even though their situation isn't, Arsenal was always gunning for a battle. This looks like a misunderstanding that turned into belittling, and so on and so forth. But let me just be very clear about this. If Mook versus Sirius Jones is booked for a rematch, I will fly across the country just to pull the fire alarm on this venue. Please do not give us this battle, man. And that's actually no disrespect to either, because I think both of them, I'm more of a Sirius Jones apologist than most people are, man. I think Sirius Jones in some big matchups has done some great things. Wins against the likes of a JC, an Ill Will, good battles with that of a Rum Nitty, a DNA. But this is just a matchup. There's no need for it. It's unasked for. They're both at different phases of their career from the first legendary classic. This grudge is not built off of anything with rap. I think their styles would not mesh together well in a modern day format. And for all those reasons, man, these are three matchups that you might see mentioned here and there, but this is more about arguments Mook has had in real life, and I really don't think these are three battles we want going forward, moving into 2024. Now that we got a little bit of the jokes out of the way, a little bit of the battles that I simply, don't like that much out of the way, we can go into the top five here. And at number 5, I do have Murda Mook versus Rum Nitty. Not much to talk about here because there has been a little bit of noise, as there is with a few Mook battles. I don't see it happening anywhere in the soon future. For Rum or Mook, I just don't think they're on each other's path in this immediate moment, really not even in this year possibly. But there was the noise when Nitty won Cody. Obviously him and Mook have went back and forth a couple times. Mook has done a couple interviews on him, you know what I'm saying, and Rum Nitty has responded. Good matchup, one of those top tiers left out there for him, heavy competitors. But I think matchup wise, there's other battles that just kind of fit it a little better, fit the dialogue better. Bad battle, no, but just one. If we had to choose 5, I think you could throw this in at 5, and it's a safe pick. But into the top 4, at number 4, I do have Murda Mook versus Jazz, a matchup I'm a little bit more interested in, actually, style-wise. And that's because Jazz has asked for this matchup a few times. I believe she said, don't call me for Kings and Queens again if it's not Mook or Easy. Could I see Mook actually doing a Kings and Queens battle and battling, figuring that he'd have a couple other big battles in the year? Would this be maybe a second or a third battle that he could take in the year? I wouldn't be mad at it. There is the talk, right, of Mook saying it himself. Jazz is like the female Murda Mook in the way their styles match up. There is that bar-for-bar aspect, but obviously all-around talent, good at style breakdowns and angling, great pure rappers, obviously both heavy repping New York. So there is those similarities in the way they rap and just the way that their careers are. And I wouldn't be mad at it. We're talking about a Murda Mook that, for some people, I'm saying, is top of the mountain still when it comes to battle rap. Still one of those definitive endgame plates, whether you think his work, where that ranks him in current day battle rap and ranking all time, it's different. But we know the icon he is, and we obviously know the icon that Jazz is to female battle rap. If it was on a Kings versus Queens or something of that nature, I don't know what the convo would look like with a lack of a grudge there, but it's always competition. Not every battle that's been fire, actually very far from every battle that's been fire, has some crazy specific grudge. Sometimes we just take two people that rap extremely well, especially if they rap similar. We throw them against each other and we can get a good matchup there, which is why I think Mook versus Jazz, big ticket seller and a good matchup to have. And then we can move into the top 3 plates here. And at number 3, this is one that has been mentioned a lot, but if we were able to book Murda Mook versus Big K, why could we not book Murda Mook versus Ill Will? I love what Ill Will does, obviously, and the big thing here is that even though there has been noise, right? Will and Mook haven't went back and forth very much, but Ill Will versus God Tier, these high-level big spot plates, is as safe of a pick to go in there and be fire as almost anyone I've ever seen versus God Tiers or in big plate situations. If we're looking at Ill Will versus Hollow Dadan, amazing. Ill Will versus Hitman Holla, amazing. Ill Will versus Calico, super class. If those were amazing, that is the amazingest, right? I mean, probably, in my opinion, the best battle in RBE history. You could even go to Ill Will versus Daylight. I don't necessarily consider Daylight of that level of the rest of what he's put together, but Definitely one of those, definitely a harder plate to get as the years have went on, and was big pressure situation. I thought Ill Will clearly won that battle in a very good battle. And you could go on and on, man, when it comes to the big moments. Don't get me wrong, Will's had his fair share of kind of like fallouts on the big stage, maybe flamed out versus that of a Tay Rock or a DNA early in his career. And sometimes when he gets a shot, you get a battle like Rosenberg or Payne, where he just doesn't, he comes with the round sold separately. But in this matchup, like I said, even though there's not that big dialogue to have, I just have faith for Ill Will to be amazing in matchups like this, where it's on him in a main event situation. And I think it's worthwhile. I think he's more than deserving. It's not just so far out there. It's a guy who hasn't earned it. You know what I'm saying? He just had, in my opinion, battle of the year with Hitman Holla. He can very well go turn around and battle Murda Mook. Maybe I probably haven't beaten Murda Mook, but I just think it's a good style matchup too. More of an all-around game that Mook may be able to match a little bit more. I don't know what the venue would look like, and like I said, out of all these, this is one that has the least probably back and forth noise, but just battle-wise, I would prefer it over these on this list, and definitely over the It's Not Happening section. And that leaves you with the top two matchups here, I think, for Murda Mook. And at number 2, funny enough, because this one has actually been booked before, you know what I'm saying, or at least halfway booked and taken off the table. And with the changes in Easy the Block Captain's career, I don't know the likelihood of Murda Mook versus Easy the Block Captain happening, but for me, it is still one of the best matchups out there. This one has had more of a conversation. This one, style-wise, makes sense, the way that they could have a real dialogue with each other. Now, obviously, you know what I'm saying, a few of us have Easy coming off 2 losses right now. One of them obviously being debatable with the John to Don battle. So it's kind of tough to say he's taken a dip compared to his prior form, and he would go in and get a Murda Mook endgame plate. But we know for the Drake card, I don't even know if it was booked. It was on a flyer. You know what I'm saying? But we all know Mook kind of said yes, then turned around and said 3 weeks, isn't enough time for me to write. So much has happened with Easy the Block Captain since then, but style-wise, they can talk. We know that Easy knows how to talk. Obviously, that's a big part of Murda Mook's game. One of the first people to really take angling into the game like that and make it really talking to someone's soul. And on top of that, they're both very good just rappers, like just in terms of straight rapping. And with the subjects out there, there's more than enough material to talk about when it comes to Mook. I mean, pick an angle, and with Easy, in a very short amount of time, he's in that same situation where you could just pick an angle. It's so much that I think they could have a battle where there's not much bar for the most part, outside of what they include in their structure and how they're attacking, but it could be a very topic-based battle. It's still a mega match if it gets booked. Like I said, some people are going to say, why would it get booked right now with Easy coming off losses maybe to Geechee and John, depending on how you view it. But to me, like I said, there's not too many matchups out here that just fully make sense for Mook. Some of these, like Will, even Nitty, you know what I'm saying, kind of feel like oddball, a little bit obscure, less of that build-up. This is one of those few that really has that, and I think still could be very good footage, and why it's one of my top matchups for Mook. And that leaves the number 1 matchup, and as it is for a few of these videos, it really never was a question. When you clicked on this video, you probably knew this was number 1, and that is Murda Mook versus Hitman Holla. Murda Mook versus Hitman Holla not only makes sense, but it just makes sense over all of this list. Really, if Mook battled one time next year, we want it to be Hitman Holla. I love what's going on with Mook and Hitman. They've obviously had their little back and forth through the years. Hitman's blog kind of, encapsulates and files out chronologically how all that went down, and he had Mook looking kind of crazy in that blog, you know what I'm saying? Then Mook going back over, he's saying he's got female tendencies, Hitman saying he's gonna hit him. Don't hit him, rap against him. You know what I'm saying? That this is one of those where it is a mega match of the highest value. There might not be too big, you could say Cassidy, but he's not, Cassidy really is never here. So there might not be 2 bigger ticket sellers from just straight battle rap than Hitman, who is number 1. That's unquestionable. And Mook really might be in there for number 2 in terms of like just when he pops out, the noise that happens, everybody tuning in, all the promo he does that then gets even more noise on top of that, how big the events become when he's headlining. They're 2 of the best talkers in the game. Well, very all-around skill sets, although people will underrate Hitman, just say he's a performer. Like he's not an elite angler. Like he can't get into the bar-for-bar bag like he did versus Bill Collector. Many of things that Hitman can do in the game, just like Murda Mook. There's talk of big stage or small stage. What would it be? I think that financially, I don't think that anyone in the world can afford to put this in a small room. Unless you're just burning money or whatever. But no, there will be no empty room for any of this. I think this is a big stage. super event, bring everybody out type of situation. But no matter, I guess, where it goes down, at the end of the day, we're seeing more of a natural grudge built up here. You see, Mook's argued with Hitman and Serious Jones recently in the public eye's view, and what's going on with Hitman is much more productive towards rapping, battles, and actual culture shifting than him and Serious yelling at each other in the middle of the night on Instagram Live. And for me, Hitman Holla versus Murda Mook is quite easily should be Mook's next battle, and for me is one of the most exciting things happening and building in battle rap right now. And that is my full Bookem video here for Murda Mook. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on the matchups down below. You know what I'm saying? As I gave my first few on the battles that, unlike honorable mentions, I gave some battles that really are probably not, and in my opinion, shouldn't happen for a few reasons. But I still think there's 5 good matchups there with Mook. It's not the same like that of a Lux, you know what I'm saying, where I feel like there is wreck for like 4 or 5 guys that are really waiting outside for Lux. I mean, anyone would take a Murda Mook battle, but there's not the same noise in terms of 7 guys that I think like, oh, these are key matchups that at any point could be great. And I think that there's even some random matchups in here that could be good. Hell, I mean, I doubt that they do it, but there's a world where Mook and Shine, I think, would be a fire battle. Obviously, they're probably, you know what I'm saying, cool right now. Whole Dot Mob situation looks like Shine is back, cool with everybody from the Dot Mob crew. And even in a parallel universe, Mook versus Calico, when Calico was going against Dot Mob, there's matchups like that kind of came and went for Mook, Hollow and Mook. You know, at a point in time, that was amazing. Now both of them agree. It's kind of past that time, and I feel like that's what happens with a few Mook matchups here. But if you want to go new school, you could go and get Illinity. It'd be a pretty good battle. If you want to go, obscure, male versus female matchup, nobody would not respect Jazz the Rapper getting that plate. But I think especially with Easy and more importantly Hitman, those are 2 blockbusters where the talking's been there in a rap sense. And even if it gets to the point where it's almost personal, Mook talks shit so much that it gets people like almost generally mad, where we are talking about a Hitman hitting him or something like that. But those are the matchups that I think could be productive and push the culture forward. Good style matchups and good battles. But like I said, you guys let me know in the comments down below, who do you think would be a good matchup for Murda Mook? Do you disagree with my original 3 that I was talking about? Do you like the matchups I gave? Just let me know in the comments, man. But it's been J Small Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna catch you on the next one, man. Peace.